Okay.
And we're getting
Wonderful.
ready to celebrate some 10th anniversaries. I'm working on an event right now, a luncheon for our salon professionals that have been with us 10 years in our first two salons.
Great, great. I love that you own and operate 12 Sola Salon Studios. You've gone so far in your career, and I've always admired you so much, Heather. So I'll jump into the questions and ask, how have other women shaped your career?
Well, I think when I first got out of college, I actually took an unpaid internship and at a foundation for a major hospital. And two of the women that were there, it was really their sort of second career. One had been a news a journalist, a broadcast, and the other had been in New York as a book editor. And they were really kind to me, supportive. Taught me about professionalism in the workplace. It was really my first job that was more of an office type of job, working with high level professionals, but really encouraging, took me under their wing. And I'm really grateful for that. They taught me a lot. They introduced me to a lot of people in the community. They gave me a lot of responsibility, and their confidence in me really gave me confidence in myself. And I appreciated that. So I'm grateful. We've actually maintained, both of the women, we still have friendships all of these years later. It's, 25 years later.
Wow.
And with one of them, I actually had the opportunity to work professionally, 15 years later after that original introduction. So that was really a highlight.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What do you wish you had learned earlier in your career?
To not be afraid to ask for what I think I'm worth. And, you can, the worst you can hear is no, but the answer is always no if you don't ask. And so have confidence in yourself and your ability. And at worst case scenario, you get a no, and you've learned from it going forward.
Beautiful. In your opinion, how do you think companies would benefit from having more women at the top?
I think men tend to be very numbers driven, and I think women by nature tend to be a little more empathetic and understanding the feelings behind decisions. Purchase decisions, or if there's a conflict, whatever it might be. So I do think bringing that kind of more feeling side into any type of process, again, sales, customer service, whatever it might be, design elements, even understanding how women feel, as and a lot of times women are the primary consumers with for the household in a lot of items, and then as well, now we're seeing more and more women in the workplace. So I think it's becoming increasingly important as more women enter the workplace, as more women become consumers of different products, services that maybe in the past they were not. I think having that feminine understanding, empathy, feminine aesthetic plays well, and I think is critical in making well thought through decisions.
Wonderful. And Heather, what are your thoughts about work-life balance?
Well, I know it's very popular today to tell everyone, right? New kids coming out of school, everyone, work-life balance, and that's what you should be seeking. We should, but I think that I believe in work-life choice. And I'm a big fan of Jack Welch and his wife, Susie Welch. She used to be head of the Harvard Business Review before she married Jack, and they wrote a book together, and they talked about that work-life balance and it really being work-life choice. I think, you have to decide what you want. And, I now have work-life balance because I worked really hard and I made choices that I felt were right for me to get where I wanted to be. So I think, I don't know if I had always sought work-life balance from the my early career, if I would be where I am today. I think that, it requires a lot of hard work to get to the pinnacle of any business. And I think work-life balance sometimes is earned, whereas today I feel like people, society, educators are teaching that, everyone should just automatically have it. But I think it has to be earned. And it's a choice that everyone makes.
Right. That is really interesting. I love it. Work-life choice.
Not that you can't have it all. I mean, you can, but it's a fine balancing act. And again, you get to a certain point where when I was building all of my solas, I worked all the time, and but I knew at the end of the day there was going to be great rewards for doing that. And so I was willing to sacrifice work-life balance for a little while to achieve what I am today. And then now I've got great work-life balance. But it wasn't something that was automatically always available.
Right. I really like the honesty. I've heard other women, as you've been on stage, other women on stage saying, it isn't always available right then and there, but I love that, we have to work for it. And that is a choice.
Yeah. I do believe you can be successful at whatever you want to be successful at, as long as you put the hard work into it. And, so the harder you work, I think the more successful you become. Sometimes it takes a little time, but you have to be willing, I think, to make some of those hard decisions, hard sacrifices to achieve it down the road, the work-life balance.
Love it. In your opinion, Heather, how should women support other women in their organizations?
I think that, it's always encouraging, being willing to listen, just to have a friendly ear so that people can brainstorm, troubleshoot. I mean, I've got several females within Sola that, we have our text group and we talk about things, and we always make time for each other, so that if someone has an issue that comes up, I'm always willing to sit there with them, give them my time, brainstorm with them. And I think that we should all, do that with women. I think it's, I think having, mentorships is great. I think, there are women in business support groups, organizations. Sometimes it's just social, sometimes it's to talk about issues in the workplace. The Chamber of Commerce usually has something for women. I think all of those groups are really, really important, so that you have a network where you feel like you can talk about issues that maybe you don't feel comfortable talking about necessarily with your male counterpart.
I agree. I think that's wonderful. And Heather, for those listening and watching, the young women out there, what keeps you motivated and driven?
I love to learn, and I think that I can always be better. And I don't see that as being, I don't feel like I'm good enough, right? But I think that we can always learn, we can grow, we can be better, we can expand our interest. For example, I just started oil painting, never thought that it'd be something that I'd be interested in doing, but I'm learning a lot from it, that I can apply even to business. And so creating new interest will keep you inspired and keep you motivated, to know that you can always be learning and maybe possibly doing something better.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I didn't think that I had an artistic bone in my body because I always felt I knew I could read color well. But I thought in order to be, an artist, you had to be able to draw, and I cannot draw.
Oh,
And what I found is that's not necessarily the case. Like I can draw, I just do it with a paintbrush, and so it's really been a lot of fun. And it's nice to have something that I can totally uh, disengage with work. I play golf too, but it's hard to go and have 4 hours on the golf course, whereas I could take an hour and paint. And I really feel mentally refreshed afterward.
that's so wonderful. Well, is there anything else that you want to?
No, I don't think so. I think it's great that you're doing this. If there's anything, in the future I could do to help, I'm always, available. Just give me a ring, send me an email, and I'll
Okay.
try to do the best I can to put it on
I
my schedule.
I truly appreciate your time, Heather.